Want to see what happens when Donkey Kong eats a super mushroom? Yeah, he heals a little bit. Cool, huh? Rounding out what I still consider the traditional E3 season, there was a new Nintendo Direct this week. And you know what? With the accumulating rumors of an Ocarina of Time remake and the announcement that it would be 50 minutes long plus 95 minutes of a Treehouse Live, I was baited into thinking maybe this would be a special Nintendo Direct, one of the big ones, when in reality, it was just pretty regular. I mean, this guy still got more airtime than anyone else.
It's a great day for a big walk.
You see what I'm saying? It's just regular. There was the announcement of a new Xenoblade game. There was the gameplay reveal of the new Fire Emblem. Kingdom Hearts 4 looking a little crusty, but it's not nothing. Those things probably set it above an average Nintendo Direct, but to me, the restraint behind Ocarina of Time and Duskbloods, both games still coming out in 2026, almost implied that the good Direct is yet to come. For now, here's Metaphor Refantasio and Devil May Cry 5. And Minecraft. One eventful moment to set it apart is when the new president of Nintendo of America, Devin Pritchard, was able to address her constituents for the first time. What's kind of disappointing about that speech, though, is that it was basically just a setup for the show's transition into Treehouse Live.
You can read about a game, you can watch a trailer, but nothing beats seeing it for yourself. And that's a big part of what Nintendo Treehouse Live is about.
Trailers are okay. Previews, they're okay too. But here's the good stuff.
Where is everybody?
I'm hanging out here.
I would say Treehouse Live served a purpose during the E3 days. It was like they were letting you in. They were giving you access to this exclusive event that you couldn't otherwise go to. Today, maybe they're asking a lot for an audience to just sit and watch this stuff for 95 minutes.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna take this back.
Awesome.
You just get the impression Treehouse Live is just a Nintendo of America directive. Like a please just let us do this kind of thing. The Japanese version of the same direct just ends with Koizumi saying thanks for watching and taking a bow. And that video has millions more views than the super long English one. However, it at least seems like the Treehouse people are enjoying themselves, and it's not like they're doing something harmful, except making the motion controls look bad. But you know who is harmful? Xbox executives. I couldn't let a week go by without covering this headline. Xbox plans significant layoffs as new CEO plans overhaul. As is often the case, that's Bloomberg's Jason Schreier with the scoop. But the funny thing about this situation is the article alludes to an internal email, and then shortly after that report was published, Xbox just posted that email on Xbox Wire, titled Next 100 Days, Xbox Reset, by Asha and Matt. Now, if your initial reaction to that scintillating title is it good? Is the reset good? It's not. No. No, it's frankly not the kind of email I'd want to receive from my new boss. What's kind of interesting is that the post almost serves as a companion piece to Asha Sharma's interview with Bloomberg Live from last week, which remember is before that whole showcase happened. For instance, here's a quick question.
What do the next 100 days look like? Well, I think the first 100 days are going to be hard to beat in terms of the excitement, but the next 100 days is, look, we've done so much to start to revive Xbox. We've shipped more in the last 100 days than we have in the last year.
Now you might be asking, what does she mean shipped more in the past 100 days? More what? More consoles? More games? Well, the answer's right here in the Xbox Wire post. They shipped more updates in the last 100 days than during the prior year combined. Firstly, congratulations are obviously in order to Xbox for those updates. But what's really crazy is you'll see a lot of her responses to that interview from last week typed up into this memo from this week. Here, just later in that paragraph, our Game Pass team set to work fixing our offering, and after 8+ months of decline, our service has started to grow again. Well, that seems like good Game Pass news. What did she say in that interview?
We've been able to reset Game Pass after an 8-month decline. It's now returned to growth and expanding revenue retention. And
to my ears, sounded like she almost said revenue and then caught herself. Game Pass is in fact expanding in retention. Could be Forza Horizon 6 coming out, but also, could be that price adjustment helping with retention. To be clear, this post is unprecedentedly bonkers, though. I'm not used to seeing this kind of corporate transparency. Here's the second bullet point. We will end this fiscal year at about 3% accountability margin, down year over year. Excluding Activision Blizzard King, over the past 5 years, we have spent over $20 billion on ongoing investments in our content platform and hardware subsidy, but our annual revenue has declined nearly $500 million during that time. Going forward, this cannot continue. That's public. They're okay with you reading that. On Sunday, the message was,
Xbox was built on the spirit of creativity and heart.
And then on Wednesday, the message was, this cannot continue. So from the conclusion of that note, for some of you, these realities will be surprising and even frustrating to discover. It's very condescending. We won't succeed by hiding hard truths, nor will we succeed by doing the same thing and expecting different results. Now, maybe this is hypocritical of me because I've been saying those exact same things for years to this audience, but I wasn't talking to the very team I'm trying to motivate. To Asha and Matt, I do have a piece of advice. I feel like before asking people to buy into your plan for the next 100 days, you should let them know whether or not they have a job next month. Or did you forget Xbox tenet number 9? Makers over managers. And I know you clicked on this video with Nintendo in the title, and then I once again spent most of it just talking about Xbox. So as recompense, from this day forward, I will kill the Xbox tenets bit. It's a dead horse at this point. Tenet 3 is stay rebellious. That's hilarious, but we have to move on from that. This games industry is tough for everybody in it. Best we can do now is just look for places of hope. Does anyone know where hope resonates?
Hope resonates within the crystals.
And that's delayed input. Now, next week's episode will actually be early because next Thursday, I'm going to be participating in a Street Fighter 6 New Challengers tournament. Here's my team. I'm Team Shine. Shine's my coach. And if you're confused by this, wondering, wait a minute, has he been good at Street Fighter this whole time? No, I have not. Just to be clear, no, I'm still bad. But I do have 6 days to turn it around still. So that'll be live next Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific time. Once again, please expect delayed input sometime before that. Until then, thanks for watching. So there was a moment in the Direct when I thought Nintendo magic was about to happen. Switch Sports Resort was announced, and afterward, Yoshiaki Koizumi says he's going to demonstrate the thumb wrestling game. Here we go, right? Here we go. This will be special. This will make it something special. Because when they first showed it, I initially thought the thumb wrestling looked like an unfun minigame. Maybe they just put it in there to pad out the total package. But then I got to watch a senior executive of Nintendo play it, and now I know for sure that it is not fun. Because yeah, to be fair, there is some element of strategy and risk reward, but the way to break out of a pin is just rapidly shaking the Joy-Con, which obviously stinks. We're through. We're done with this. And then the craziest thing happens. Koizumi loses. He just loses the game. And here's the thing. It's not like a mobile game ad where you watch the person lose and you're meant to think, no, you fool! The smaller number! By the way, while searching for that clip, I have learned that in the 2 years since I last did a Hero Wars bit, they seem to have moved in a new, strange direction. Just seems like the new strategy is becoming unimaginably perverted, but also in a way that YouTube could never detect it. Anyway, that's all beside the point. Forget about that. What I'm saying is that in the case of Switch Sports thumb wrestling, I'm not sure there was any advantage to us watching the player lose. We already thought it was going to be an unfun minigame. Then we see probably the person who is best in the world at Switch Sports thumb wrestling lose. And I didn't walk away thinking, oh, I could have done better than that guy. He should have done this and this and this. I don't know, man. I think he did pretty good. My theory is that was one take. My theory is that Koizumi's like, I'll play it once. I'm going to prove to people this is fun. Played it once, lost, and then probably didn't want to play that anymore. Still, I'm glad they kept it in because it adds some danger to the Nintendo Direct, some authenticity. Now we think going forward, any demo from any executive could be failed. We'll be more invested knowing now what's at stake. And I like danger. Like when I'm scrolling through ads and then suddenly there's somebody plunging a demon's toilet.